And that's the thing, guys. Welcome back to my channel, everyone. Welcome. It's me, it's your boy Rare. And today we're going to be talking about some Udyr for obviously the new Udyr rework that just came out yesterday, or whenever you're watching this video. So currently, I've been playing him, and I feel like there's a lot of talk on how he is right now. Plenty of people like him, plenty of people don't like him. Some people think he's great. I've just watched Scooch's video, and I've also watched Trick2G's video when he made it when he was back at Riot Games, like the IRL video when he's at Riot Games HQ, and he actually got to test the champion. So he definitely, you know, as we all know, Trick is the Udyr man, right? Like, he is the Udyr Godyr, right? Like the face of Udyr basically in League. And basically, I wanted to give my take on it. I know Trick was like, you know, if you're hating on this rework, it's not going to be good for you. You're a bitch, right? Like, it's pretty much what he said. So maybe I'm just like the only Udyr player that doesn't like the rework. But I wanna give an example of things, or at least the things that I don't like about Udyr, and the things that I would like to see maybe be improved. So firstly, let's talk about old Udyr a little bit, and then new Udyr. Starting with his passive. So his new passive, I'll do like a TLDR. His old passive wasn't great. You know, he got some movement speed, he got some attack speed. But I think them removing that was a big problem. You know, Way of the Monkey or whatever it was called. And I'm sorry, I don't remember all the names, and I don't have a list of the abilities in front of me right now. But I do think that the old passive being taken away, it added flavor. Like if you guys don't know, what you would do is you would use an ability, you would proc, let's say Q, and you would do Tiger Stance, right? And then if you switch to, let's say W, you would switch to Turtle Stance, and you will get 2 procs of your passive. So each ability gave 1 stack, and you can stack it up to 3 times. That was Way of the Monkey or whatever it was called. Now currently, new Udyr, when you use one of his abilities, he has a few seconds for his next 2 autos, depending on which stance you're in. So for example, if it's Tiger, you will get increased attack speed and damage based on health. And obviously his new passive makes it so that he has an awakening stance for each stance. So older Udyr, you kind of have to like juggle this like monkey stance or Way of the Monkey. New Udyr, you basically auto twice and then switch stance. And for me, the problem with new Udyr is that he feels way more simpler, and they didn't. I'm not saying that he needed to feel completely different and change him, and he needs to have 25 dashes on one ability like some champions, and a CC and a gap close and a teleport, and you know, he didn't need to have everything. But I feel like he feels worse as a Udyr player, and I use Udyr mostly to climb with. For me, he's very comfortable as a champion. He's simple, but you know. I'm sorry about the gameplay in the background. It's just I'm trying out Tiger Stance. Just I wanted to see how it would work with me going full Tiger and like trying to duel people. I didn't play really good there, but I hope you guys enjoyed the background footage. But yeah, so this is I think my 4th or 5th game currently in the background or something. And I actually got him. It was kind of annoying to actually get him because plenty of people apparently play Udyr all of a sudden. But yeah, going back to the stances. So you have new Phoenix, new Bear. Well, all the skills are new. They all work essentially the same. E is still the stun. W is still the boar or the turtle. I'm going to maybe refer them as their old stances because I understand why they changed it. I understand the lore behind it. Like, it makes sense. He's from Freljord, and then, you know, all of that stuff. And I'm happy that they kept his ultimate skin as their old stances. I think that was super cool of them, in my opinion. That being said, I do miss saying turtle stance. I do think being turtle and that stuff is kind of cool. But I'm getting sidetracked here. So when it comes to the stances and the awakened abilities, I keep calling them like the ultimate abilities. Basically, how would I say this? His ultimate currently, for those of you who don't play Udyr, I would suggest just going reading up all his skills. But his new passive triggers and goes off cooldown. Like it makes his 45-second passive that scales with CDR, but also it scales with you using your skill. So let's say if you're Tiger, you switch to or Q. Let's say you use. I'm just gonna call it Q actually. You use Q. You auto twice. Those two autos, the first two, not any other auto, just the first two, forever, will reduce the cooldown of your awakening skill. Your awakening skill, for example, with a new Tiger stance or Bear stance, that's the thing that makes like the lightnings come out, and it's like old Tiger stances like proc. And with old Udyr, that kind of was built into his Q already, which is my first problem. I guess with Udyr is that they didn't fix the fact that Phoenix is just a better, like, everything. Phoenix is just straight up a better version of Tiger. I mean, like, you would pick Tiger for very slim scenarios, very small situations, and in that, you rarely ever saw Tiger. I think lots of Udyr players, I know plenty of people don't really care, like, in reality, but I do think it would have been nice if they made Tiger just different for a different reason. So I'm going to talk about Tiger stance in the video. I'm also going to be talking about Phoenix stance and Turtle stance and all the others. I think Turtle's actually kind of okay right now. I think it's just a better version of what Turtle is. It heals like max health, so it's like they're incentivizing for him to be a tank. But I digress. So his old passive and his new passive, and I'm going to talk about what I like and what I dislike and how I would change it. So let's start with Q. I think that'll be the best because I don't really have to talk about W and E that much. We'll go over them just briefly. So Tiger stance, you pick it to duel people. You don't pick it for anything else. You can't really push, like you can't clear as fast. Udyr is a clear jungler. He's kind of okay, like he's kind of good early game and he kind of falls off late. And I was hoping that they would address that issue with him, like that gameplay issue of Udyr was that, you know, you have to power farm and like beat the enemy jungler and also gank really well, which he's not the best ganker. He's fast, but he's not like, he's no Lee Sin, no Elise. But their trade-off is that they fall off pretty hard late game. Like, unless they're ahead and they're like, you know, like you can get your mid lane Zed ahead because you're playing Lee Sin, you're just constantly ganking or Elise or whatever. On Udyr is more like, if he like falls off, his only resource is to kind of just, I don't know, like, I would say maybe like split push or something, or power farm harder and just 1v1 people. But at that point, you're probably already going into Phoenix, and it doesn't solve the problem of Q, right? Of Tiger stance, right? So here is my suggestion on how to rework the passives and Q as well as, I guess, the other stances. So firstly, if you don't know, the new Udyr's passive also has, I think at level 1, it's like 40 or 45 seconds cooldown. Correct me, you know, the numbers change depending on, I think, CDR runes and all that other stuff. But roughly, it's like level 1, it's like 45. Around mid-game, it goes down to like 35. And then like late game, maybe it's like 25. Something like that. And then when you the way you like get it off cooldown faster, again, is by using the two autos. So Udyr's new gameplay is Q, auto twice, W, auto twice, and Q again. Or if you have enough CDR, you can maybe pull in a Phoenix, or if you're going Phoenix, you'll replace the Qs with Rs, right? So you can do like RQR, for example, or whatever. So let's talk about the passives. So how would I change it? Firstly, I would add the way of the monkey back, right, or whatever the hell it was called. I know I don't sound like a Udyr player, but yeah, I don't read them. I just know what the abilities are. But you have way of the monkey. It also helps with kiting, and I know he got some movement speed nerfs as well. I do think that it could have been. I understand why they did it because of the new bear stance or ram stance, which I think is cool. I like the immunity. I think ram, if anything, is probably the most successful and probably the best stance. Then followed by Phoenix as well. Turtle didn't really change much in my opinion to like warrant like me really talking about it. I think it's a great stance. For me right now, I feel kind of personally, I feel like Udyr has to look at his passive all the time to see when he can go in. I can't spam like when I say he's unfun, you can't really spam bear stance like you could. You can't just sit and like spam E all the time because you want to hold the CC immunity for the right time. You want to hold what you call it. You want to be able to like just immune yourself through like powerful abilities, like not even any CC. You want to hold it through like a Sona ult, or maybe like I don't know, like maybe like if you're trying to kill Karthus all the time in jungle, maybe like you want to power through his wall, maybe something like that, and you want to like be able to duel him and obviously beat Karthus because he's a really good power farmer. Same thing with Shyvana, and even with Bel'Veth, you want to be able to like power farm through her shit and then maybe stun her. So there is some good mechanical gameplay. I think, and I sound pretty negative overall. I'm actually really positive. I just feel like to just maybe make him not busted, but make his stuff make more sense, or make him like have more flavor. So first thing I would do is rework the way his autos work. Let his every third auto give the cooldown of his awakening like however much it does right now, instead of like the 2 autos and then whatever, because it feels no point in sitting in a stance anymore. It just feels like you're just mashing every button as fast as possible after every 2 autos. Like as soon as you use your 2 autos, you want to be back in another stance. And for me, that it also like makes the gameplay kind of stale. And then when it comes to something like my only gripe, for example, with Phoenix is that it's just a big AoE. It's not really like there's no like, how do I put it? There's no like skill expression, I guess would be the right word. There's no skill expression to new Phoenix. You're just a big Anivia ulti, and it's as nice as it is. It's less skill expressive. Now I have a solution for this, and it goes hand in hand with the passive and how the awakenings work. And what I would do is I would have Tiger stance be the same as it was before. I don't like that it's so flashy personally, by the way. I guess maybe with a skin it could be flashy, but I like the fact that Tiger stance, like old Tiger stance, you could just duel someone, you could kill them and they wouldn't even know that they were bleeding. Like you would just run up to them, you would just hit them tiger, then you Q tiger, they're hit by like 2 tigers, right? Because you have the autos up. And you can't do that anymore. You have to spam, so you're losing a lot of mana constantly. You can't just like cheese the mana, I guess, or however you want to call it. And then you have another situation, which is with his passive. So like rework his passive, rework monkey stance, or just add it back in. They don't even need to like change anything on it. The stats can be literally 30% attack speed or movement speed or whatever, or 30 attack speed. No, 30 movement speed on top of his attack speed, which is like 15 attack speed or something like that. It's not percentage, it's just like movement speed, right? Add that back in. Let Anivia's like AoE from his new Phoenix, let that just come out every 3 seconds. I don't know if it will be too busted or if he has too much attack speed. Let that just be his passive again. Maybe they can keep, if they're scared that Turtle is just too good. I mean, like, you can still proc these things all the time anyways, so I don't see any personal excuse for them to not have it the way they have it. But that being said, how I would change Tiger Stance, because I think Tiger Stance is the biggest flaw of Udyr. I think Tiger Stance, the awakening skill is pretty cool. The little like zaps of lightning that come out and massage you. I think they're pretty cool. And you can triple Tiger Stance, like you can triple like you can triple tiger if you're sitting in a bush, which is actually kind of funny because you're like a tiger, right? You're sitting in a bush, someone comes up to you and you hit them with the first 2 autos on tiger, you press tiger again, you hit them with the second 2 autos of tiger, and then you use your you use the awakening tiger, which comes up with the lightning. So you're still able to burst people pretty good. Like it's nice, it feels good, but it doesn't feel good that you have to you can't manage your buff, like you're sitting and you're like, you have to use it in 4 seconds, and you have to use it in a specific way, which for me is very sad. Like it removes skill expression. What I would also do with the Q with his third hits, because it'll be instead of 2 hits, and the rework that I would give him is that make Tiger stance, make his Q just work the way that old and like on top of how it works currently and how old Tiger stance works, have all of those together so it bounces. It also bleeds the first target, the initial target it hits, and this could be the ultimate stance. It doesn't. This could be the awakening, but then it could also be that he does a big swipe. So instead of old Phoenix stance would give like a blast of fire, which was the skill expression I was talking about before, you can have it so that new Tiger stance is like old Phoenix. And old Tiger stance, by the way, this poor Gangplank is... I just took 3 barrels away from him. Like, I feel sorry for the guy. But anyways, this new Tiger stance can just get old Phoenix stances like blast wave. And instead of it being like a fire blast, obviously that doesn't make sense. Let it just be like a big swipe. He has the animations for it. I don't see why he can't have that the way I'm explaining it, and that will make him clear maybe not as good as Phoenix, but at least you won't be so much worse where you never want to take Tiger. Maybe you just want to be Tiger Udyr and then you suffer, but you're better at dueling. Or maybe you play Phoenix because you want to AoE and have really great team fight potential, because that's basically what Phoenix is. You're like you're running in, you're a CC god, and that's what you want to be. You want to be in there with a bunch of people all around you, CCing and slowing people, burning them, and since you're a Phoenix, you're a Cryo Phoenix, they're in like a big blizzard. But I digress. And another way I would also change Udyr, so giving his old passer back, giving him 3 hits. One thing I would like to say is, what would be really cool for them to do is, how Udyr feels like he's a very different champion. He is such a different champion to other champions because you can max the abilities the way you want. Like obviously you can't just spam max Q, right? You have to take like QW, Q, but you could technically max ulti as soon as you would normally max like let's say Q, for example, or you could max, like he just works differently as a champion, and what they could do is they can emphasize that. That's what they should have emphasized. They should have emphasized how he's able to just max out something. Let's say you want to be the Phoenix god Udyr, right? Like you just want to be phoenixing people. You want to be in the fights. Your team fight is strong. Or whatever, or let's even if you want to max Ram, and what would happen is whichever ultimate you picked or whichever one you maxed first, that being like let's say for example if you maxed Phoenix, it's because you want to clear a lot and then team fight a lot, right? But if you want to max Tiger, you want to duel a lot, right? What you could do is that you could do this for all the ones you max out, or I don't know if they have the tech to do this. Maybe Riot doesn't have the tech to do this, but whichever one, think of it like how you upgrade Kha'Zix's or Kai'Sa's passive. Or Kha'Zix is like like evolved Q. Like he could quote unquote like evolve his stances. Like he can like awaken them. And what that would do is if he went when he still has the awakening stance, but when he awakens that specific stance, whichever one it would be, let's say let's say it's Phoenix again, he could get it so that the ultimate, the awaken, oh god, these names are fucking me up. He could use the awakening on Phoenix, as in he could use Phoenix's awakening on a shorter cooldown. Like maybe it'll have a separate cooldown, and then you can like maybe like triple like you can like Phoenix stance, then use the Awakening Phoenix stance that you have specifically for your Phoenix stance, and then you can use another one right away. So you'll have like 2 tornadoes come out or some shit. Or you can have like Quadra Tiger stance, so you just like burst. Or what you could do, and why I say it should be separate is that like the major reason why I'm saying this is that maybe you can only have it for one, or maybe you can have it for maybe, I don't know, maybe having it for like each stance, because you can only max out 3 of them. You can never max out all of them, right? You only have 18 points, right? And you can only put 6 in each. So what I would suggest, at least in my opinion, is have him like decide on which stance he wants, because I know what you guys are thinking in chat. You're probably going to comment, yeah, but if he has Ram stance and then he has a separate Ram, he can just, you know, he can become immune for like, well, maybe they can nerf the stun, or maybe nerf the like immunity, like maybe make it shorter or whatever, if that's like the issue. But he's already slower. Like I feel like kiting and running away from people on Udyr feels much worse. And in my opinion, what you could do is you could just straight up have like their own stance, or that stance itself. God, there's so much stance talking right now. You can have that specific stance be on half the cooldown. So let's say if your CDR, let's say like the stances start at 45 seconds, right? So the Awakening starts at 45 seconds, but then late game, like on average, Udyr probably has like 25 seconds. Maybe when you have the ultimate, like the ultimate version of that stance, so let's say you went again like Phoenix, you can cut that down to 15 seconds. You can cut the whole passive down, either like as itself or however you want it. You can just cut it down, and it only unlocks if you put points into it. That means, and this will solve the problem that I've been talking about before. This will solve the problem of him falling off late game, because he'll have more Awakening. He won't get like crazy amounts of stats, but he'll have more Awakening. It'll still have a cooldown, and maybe he'll want to like, maybe he'll be like, okay, I didn't take any points into, or I didn't have Awakening Boar stance because I already maxed out Phoenix and I maxed out Turtle. And so I want to heal more, and I want to be in team fights more, and I just didn't max out Boar. Or maybe like maybe he maxed out Boar because he wanted to gank a lot, and then he's going to suffer from clearing because he doesn't have maxed out Phoenix. So then you have to make this like in-game decision on which one you want to quote-unquote evolve, right? To then get your Awakening to be proccing more often. Like, obviously Boar stance is going to be crazy, right? And if it's too powerful, they can nerf it. Or have them all reduce the cooldown. So like you can do this for multiple evolutions, just like with Kha'Zix, you can have 3 evolutions, and Kha'Zix isn't crazy. Like, I mean, I just fought one in this game, right? And Kha'Zix isn't crazy, but like he doesn't fall off. You know, he's still able to kind of burst people and 1v1 for the most part most champions. His kit and his like idea of a champion, his design still holds up to this day. He's not falling off in the meta. He's pretty strong, even with the durability patch. Even in late game, most assassins kind of like fall off, but he still kind of can. You know, he can still jump in 1v1 someone and get out, and he does it pretty good because of the reset with E. But you have to wait till get E at level 11 or maybe even level 16, and at that point, you know, it's already late game, and if he's ahead and he's blowing your team up, well, you had a problem the whole game, you know? I think there is many ways we can go about this. What I would like to say is, this is just my suggestion. Obviously, I could be the only Udyr in the world that feels like this. But I do want you guys to know that all comments and all suggestions in the comment section below is welcome. Let's have a discussion. I would like to talk about this. I do stream on twitch.tv/ currently I think it's Dracania BDO. Might be something else in the future. Yeah, let me know what you guys think. If you like this kind of video, it's more like, I don't know, podcasty, kind of like ranty video. Let me know what you guys think about that. And yeah, I hope you guys have a good one. If you want any more description on how I can, you know, if we can talk about this more, feel free to come by in my stream. And like this video if you liked it. And if you didn't like it, well, I don't know what to say. just dislike it then. All right. I hope you guys have a good evening or day or night or whatever. And yeah, let me know what you guys think about jungling and the new patch. Peace out.